This is the final video for the Straw Hat Power series, and in this video I want to discuss how strong each and every Straw Hat will be by the end of One Piece. And I do mean each and every Straw Hat. We are not leaving out the Thousand Sunny. Let's just get started with Luffy, the MC, the man who is going to become the Pirate King. It feels like it should be an easy answer, and if we were talking about how strong each Straw Hat will be at their primes, I think the answer for Luffy would be he's the GOAT. He will be the greatest and strongest of all time, because not only is he the main character, and usually that's what happens with the main character, but if you look at how much he's grown, what he's capable of doing right now, hurting Kaido and all that, if he's given even more time to train and grow into his 30s, 40s, and 50s, he's gonna be an absolute monster. But this question gets a little iffy because the question is how strong will Luffy be by the end of One Piece, and we don't really know how old he's gonna be when the story ends. First off, there's the possibility that Luffy dies, a very popular theory in the community. All the ties to how his lifespan has diminished over time with Gear Second, everything that happened at Impel Down, and also his connection to Roger, who had a disease that couldn't be cured. It all kind of ties together to this theory that Luffy eventually dies. So if Luffy dies before he's able to reach his prime, it kind of becomes a question of just how strong he becomes. There is also the other question of if there is not another time skip and the story just ends after they defeat the world government and all that, how strong will Luffy be then? And personally, I really don't think Luffy is gonna die before he's well into his prime, and I do think we should get a time skip after the final war, see what everybody's up to, like way into the future and what they're doing and what they're capable of. So that's the most likely scenario for me, and that's the one I'm gonna be judging off of. And in this scenario, Luffy is still the GOAT. Now you might be saying just because Luffy's the MC and he's gonna become the Pirate King doesn't mean he's gonna be the strongest of all time, but we really have to look at things with context here and what Luffy has been able to accomplish at his age, which is 19. He's like Jason Tatum. But yet only at 19 years old, he's already fighting against Yonko and actually capable of hurting them. So with his growth rate and his potential, by the time he gets to his 30s, 40s, and 50s, he's gonna be the GOAT. He's gonna be the strongest of all time. So yeah, Luffy, by the end of the story, he's probably a little more middle-aged. He's maybe a little more mature, but probably not really. But his strength is gonna be on another level to everybody else, but at the same time, it still kind of makes sense. It's not like he's like destroying planets and stuff like that, like Super Saiyan level. But next, let's talk about Zoro, and him I actually kind of addressed in the first ever Straw Hat Power series video, so it's kind of all coming around. But the question I really brought up in that video was, would Zoro be stronger than Roger by the end of the story? Now Zoro's interesting because I don't think he's stronger than Luffy, and I don't think his growth rate is as good as Luffy, but he is like the most motivated person to get strong. Luffy is somebody like that grows through battles and gets strong to protect people, but Zoro has been seeking strength ever since he was a kid. He's one of the people that consistently trains every single day. So once like the world government is defeated and things are kind of calm and they're just going on adventures, some of the Straw Hats are probably gonna like take it down a notch. Zoro is not gonna do that. So he's probably still gonna be training every day even when he's 30, 40, 50 years old. And Zoro's ambition is not just to become the world's greatest swordsman. When he made that promise with Kuwait, they talked about being the greatest swordsman of all time. And to tie it back to Roger, it brings us the question of, is Roger a swordsman? Now this conversation is very similar to the Shanks versus Mihawk conversation, which we all know is one of the most civil conversations in all of the One Piece community. But for me personally, I think it's very difficult to define what a swordsman is, which is why it's so hard to kind of label people. But I do think hockey is part of swordsmanship and it's not its own separate thing. Like it wouldn't make sense to me that you are the world's strongest swordsman, but somebody else has stronger armament hockey and cut you down and like beat you that way, but you're still the world's strongest swordsman. That wouldn't make any sense to me. So if Shanks is a swordsman and that's just how he fights, I do feel like Mihawk is probably stronger than him. I should not have even brought this conversation into this video. The comments are gonna go nuts now. But on the topic of Roger, we did see him use a sword as well, but I will say we don't know enough about Roger to really label him. So it's hard to identify him as a swordsman and thus say Zoro is gonna be stronger than him by the end of the story. But at the same time, bringing it back to Zoro's ambition, Zoro's another person who has crazy growth potential and he actually has the ambition to keep it going. So by the time he's in his prime, I don't think it's out of the question that he could be stronger than Roger, even if we toss aside that swordsman argument. But by the time the story ends, Zoro will be one of the strongest people of all time. Next, let's talk about Sanji, who I think in terms of growth potential is third on the crew. He's also showcased a pretty impressive growth rate of his own. On top of that, he also has the raid suit, which will advance with technology. So there's an element to him that he doesn't even need to train to get stronger. At the same time though, Sanji is a person that is very different to Luffy and Zoro in terms of strength. He mainly gets strong to protect people. His role on the crew has almost mainly been protecting the weak trio and saving people. So when the world government is defeated and things are kind of calm, Sanji might just chill out a bit. I could totally see him at some point just retiring at Fishman Island with the mermaids. Well, maybe Fishman Island doesn't exist anymore, but retiring with the mermaids with his own restaurant. He probably found the all blue by then, so he can make all sorts of different food. At the end of the day, he's a chef that loves women. Like, that's what he wants to do. So although he has this crazy growth potential and this raid suit that could just improve over time, I don't think he's gonna be at the level of Zoro and Luffy. The one funny thing would be he keeps training just so he could keep up with Zoro in that rivalry. But yeah, Sanji by the end of the story definitely very strong, especially because of his raid suit. And I do think in that final war against the world government, he should be able to compete with an admiral. So he'll probably be even stronger than that by the end of the story, so he'll still be a beast. Next, let's talk about Jinbe, who's also a monster in strength, but he doesn't have the same exact growth potential as the other three. Jinbe is already kind of in his prime. He's like 52 or 58 years old or something like that. Those are the first two numbers that popped in my head. But yeah, he's been around the ringer. He's done his thing already. He's already very strong. There's not much more room for him to grow, and just like Sanji, he doesn't really have much more reason to grow in strength. Once the fishmen are relocated and like racism is down, hopefully, he's gonna be a lot more chill and probably just enjoying the adventures with Luffy and the Straw Hats. Now, I do think he's gonna get a little stronger from now until the end of the story, and in that final war, I think it'd be good for him to also fight an admiral. Even at Marineford, he was already kind of able to compete in a way, like not win obviously, but able to kind of handle himself a little bit. So maybe now he could kind of showcase a little growth and kind of go toe to toe with an admiral by the end of the story. But beyond that, I don't think he's gonna get much stronger than that. But with that said, let's go on to Usopp, who's a very interesting case, because Usopp's growth and strength is one of the most exciting things ever, because he's the person that like we connect with. He's like a human being. He's not this crazy monster like Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro. He's just a regular guy that hopped on his crew and really has to work hard to grow stronger. I remember I was so hyped when I saw his post time skip design and him getting jacked. But at the same time, we do have to be realistic. Although he's gotten a lot stronger, his current strength is not relatable to the other four we've mentioned. He recently just went up against Ulti and we saw what happened there. Crackhead Usopp. But at the same time, Usopp's ambition is an interesting one because he's just trying to become brave, and part of that would be becoming stronger so he's not scared of anything else. And at first I thought about it, it was hard to imagine for me that Usopp is like a Yonko commander level character by the end of One Piece. But then I thought about it and I was like, should Usopp be able to surpass Yasopp by the end of the story? And yeah, I think so. And Yasopp is a top tier Yonko commander. Even somebody like Van Augur is on that similar level, and Van Augur is somebody that Usopp definitely has to surpass. So by the end of One Piece, especially when Usopp has had some time to grow, I think he'll be comparable to a Yonko commander. Like, he's probably gonna be the greatest sniper of all time, and that's gonna come with a lot of punch. Usopp is a very interesting case. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think he's gonna be like Yonko commander? Like, can you imagine Usopp going up against Katakuri and King, and like Marco and Ben Beckman? That would be wild. But who knows? Maybe by the time he's 50 years old, he's brave now, he's the GOAT sniper, he could do stuff like that. But next, let's talk about Franky, and Franky is almost kind of similar to Sanji because he advances with technology. Yeah, he could get stronger with his fighting style and all that, but his power really upgrades with technology. And that's very interesting because if there's a tech boom after the world government is disbanded, we do know the Great Kingdom was a civilization with this super advanced technology. So maybe after the world government goes down, Vegapunk is freed, there's this tech boom, and all of a sudden Franky isn't like a Hulkbuster able to destroy planets and stuff. So Franky's definitely somebody we cannot sleep on in terms of growth. Because his growth goes hand in hand with technology, it could be a higher growth rate than even Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. And Franky loves innovating new things, so he's gonna keep doing that stuff. And technology right now plays a big part in strength. Vegapunk's SSG is supposed to be something that overtakes the Warlord system. So technology right now is already very, very strong, and in another 30 years or more, what's it gonna be capable of? Honestly, Franky might be one of the strongest people by the end of the series. Like, even right now, Franky's about to fight Sasaki. That's gonna be a good, even fight in my opinion. So if you give him another 30, 40 years of upgrades, he might be surpassing Yonko commanders. And I know I'm just tossing these levels around. There's obviously a big difference between somebody like Cracker, somebody like Katakuri, but it's a way to kind of scale them to a degree. Like, these guys are all still below the Yonko. But yeah, Franky's gonna be dumb strong depending on how the tech grows. Maybe we'll see Yonko level Franky. But next, let's talk about Brook, and Brook is another interesting person because he's pretty old. The man is 90 years old, and although he still grows in strength, strength for some reason, I don't know how much more he's gonna be able to grow. Especially with Brook, he's another person that's not really gonna be that motivated to get stronger after the final war. When he meets back up with Laboon, I think he's gonna be happy, he's gonna be chill. Of course, he's gonna go on more adventures and get a little stronger. But who knows, after a while, he might go and do tours again, just go back to doing music. Because at the end of the day, he's a musician and he loves making music. So I actually don't think Brook's gonna get that much stronger than he is now by the end of One Piece. As far as how much Brook will grow from now until the end of the story, I think he definitely still has more room for growth. I definitely think Brook has more room for growth. Maybe he awakens his devil fruit, that's a way for him to get stronger. I could see him unlocking Haki as well over time, but at the same time, if he doesn't do it by the final war, I don't think he's gonna like train his Haki after that war is over. I don't want to sleep on Brook, he is very strong. I love everything he did in Whole Cake Island, but I think he's gonna chill out a bit after everything is done. Another person that falls into the same category is Robin. Robin for most of her life was really just getting stronger to protect herself, and it wasn't until she met the Straw Hats that she really had a reason to get stronger for other people. But again, just like Brook, after the final war is over and the world government is taken care of, she's just gonna be an archaeologist and go study history and like the Void Century and all that kind of stuff. For those of you that saw my Robin Straw Hat Power Series video, you guys know like the massive potential Robin could have. I didn't think she could be one of the strongest characters in all of One Piece, but Oda's probably not gonna go that route. It looks like she might be teaming up with Brook to fight Black Maria right now. She could get a little stronger by the end of the series. I'm still holding on hope that she learned Haki from Dragon and just hasn't showcased it yet. Because like Dragon, my dog, what did you teach Nico Robin over these 2 years? She's a super smart person. You couldn't teach her anything else? Maybe Devil Fruit Awakening is another possible option, but by the end of One Piece, I don't think Robin's gonna be that much stronger than where she is right now. But next, let's talk about Nami, and she's really interesting because she definitely gets stronger herself. She's definitely gotten a lot physically stronger, but her main power-ups come through the Climatact. And the Climatact, in a way, is kind of similar to Franky in that it upgrades with the advancement of technology. So Nami could definitely get a lot stronger if, say, like the Weatheria technology advances over time. She is one person I think will be traveling a lot more. Obviously, she's trying to create that world map, so she's gonna run into a whole bunch of other people. And the girl definitely likes to protect herself, so I'm sure she'll be hitting up Franky, maybe dialing up Vegapunk like, hey, Dr. Vegapunk, you got some new stuff for me? Now, obviously, there's gonna be some limitations and everything has to kind of suit her style. Like, she's not gonna be like shooting off lasers with a Climatact. But the growth potential for Nami is actually a lot bigger than some of the other ones like Robin and Brook. And I also think before we even get this massive time skip into the future of seeing like where every Straw Hat is in their 30s and 40s, I think Nami actually has potential for a massive power jump, and I talked about this in her video, but I think it's very possible she gets Zeus and Prometheus, so those are 2 Yonko level assistants essentially. She could also get Sea Stone and incorporate that as well. So by the time that One Piece is over, Nami could be a top tier Straw Hat. But next, let's talk about the last member of the weak trio, and that is Chopper. And Chopper is actually in a similar situation with Brook and Robin, where he wants to be a doctor. That's probably what he's gonna focus on after the world government is down. Again, he's gonna keep adventuring and studying and getting stronger that way, but he's not really gonna be focused on strength. Even like post time skip, he's been like the most neglected person in terms of power-ups in my opinion. I guess the one path for Chopper is the advancement of his medicine, his rumple balls. Maybe he could unlock things with zones never seen before. I think he will awaken eventually, which I did for his Straw Hat Power Series video, so that could be potentially a massive power boost, but I don't think there's much more growth for him beyond that. See, with a lot of these Straw Hats, they have other dreams than strength. Perhaps there's a hint for another upcoming series that I'm gonna be doing. But lastly, let's not forget about the Thousand Sunny, the final crew member of the Straw Hat Pirates. And the Thousand Sunny is really Franky's baby, and it's gonna be upgraded along with Franky. As Franky learns about more tech, he's definitely gonna bring it all in and put it onto the Thousand Sunny. I don't think it's gonna change much in terms of design, but I'm sure there's gonna be different crazy transformations. Maybe it turns into a gigantic ship robot. Franky's definitely gonna get wild with it. The one interesting growth aspect for the Thousand Sunny is its Cloud Baturman really like growing. Probably butchered that pronunciation by the way. But essentially the ship spirit, like what we saw with Mary and how she fixed the ship, and also how she was able to communicate with the crewmates, I think that will happen to the Thousand Sunny as well. But maybe it's even at a higher level where she could kind of create her like spirit like all the time and communicate and help the crew. That's probably the path for the Thousand Sunny. Crazy upgrades from Franky and also its own spirit coming alive. But that is all I got for all of the Straw Hats and how strong they're gonna be at the end of One Piece. And that's gonna be it for the Straw Hat Power Series, a series I started so long ago and a very successful series on the channel. So thank you everybody for watching every video. The playlist will be linked below if you miss any of them. But of course, as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please hit that like button. To keep up with this channel, you gotta hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to get notified. Thank you so much to all my King Pirates Elite members for your support. The King Pirates Discord is linked in the description below. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm DKing4, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.